At the end of the season 2 premiere of House of the Dragon, we witnessed one of the greatest personal tragedies in all of Westerosi history. An event so dreaded that has often been lauded as the Red Wedding of the Dance of the Dragons. In the episode A Son for a Son, we witness Sir Criston and Alicent. We finally witness what comes to be known in the histories as blood and cheese. The tragic death of King Aegon II's firstborn son, Prince Jaehaerys, marks a massive turning point in the dance. Prior to this event, only Rhaenyra's side was motivated by vengeful rage. The Greens were merely acting defensively and attempting to retain their already held position. Now, it seems as though both sides will stop at nothing until only ashes remain of their opponent. Today, we examine King Aegon's potential succession, given that his son and heir was just snuffed out at a very young age. I hope you all enjoy discussions of medieval succession because that's what we're going to do today, which I assume you do, given that you're watching this show. Seeing as this entire conflict is rooted in a succession crisis, it seems worthwhile to discuss the royal line of the king who currently sits the Iron Throne, regardless of which side you support. This discussion is especially relevant given that kings have a tendency to die in an act of war, as Game of Thrones taught us 5 times over. Aegon seems pretty safe in the capital right now, but given how quickly things can change in a conflict, nothing should be taken for granted. If Aegon was unlucky, Blood and Cheese could have found him instead of Jaehaerys or their target. But overall, succession is something that must be considered given the shifting state of things in war. Aegon's inexperience might put him in great risk, as this episode paints him as someone very likely to seek aggression or take risks in the names of asserting himself, proving himself, and claiming his newfound power. Also, if you enjoy, do the typical YouTube stuff of liking and subscribing. I talk a lot about House of the Dragon and A Song of Ice and Fire, and I'd love to share all of my thoughts and analyses with you. I'd love to hear your opinions on the premiere in the comments below as well, as I have quite a few that I'm sure I'll get into this week. So who was Jaehaerys? First of all, he's not the guy he's named after. Jaehaerys was the name of the king before Viserys I, who we saw very briefly in the first scene of the show. The names of Alicent's kids, and in turn their kids, are focused around signaling legitimacy for their line, and Aegon's son is a part of that. Jaehaerys is widely celebrated as one of, if not the best king in Westerosi history, even by the time of the main series. He ruled over 60-ish years of peace and implemented a number of new reforms that allowed the realm to prosper. Aegon naming his son after this prosperous king is meant to bring to mind the stability and legitimacy of this great era of Targaryen history. Jaehaerys himself, son of Aegon, not the king, was just a little guy. In the book, he is 6 years old at the time of the Blood and Cheese incident. In the show, he appears to be a fair bit younger, though we don't know exactly how much younger. He's also got a non-identical twin, with that sister being named Jaehaera. They're not the only Targaryen twins in this era, as Baela and Rhaena are also non-identical twins. There's a word for that, I don't know it. One word I do know is polydactyly, which means having 6 fingers on a single hand. Jaehaerys has a total of 24 fingers and toes, with 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot. These things do tend to happen when your parents are siblings. It's unclear if this detail made it into the show. I didn't have time to count fingers this episode as I'm making this video right after it airs, and yeah, I'm not really sure. Now to move on to the succession itself. Jaehaerys was Aegon's eldest son and stated heir, and his death puts Aegon's succession into question, even if his status as king may have air quotes around it depending on your allegiance. As far as I can see, there are 3 options for potential heirs to the Iron Throne, and we're going to examine the problems and benefits that come with each of these possible claimants. The first potential prince might not exist. In the book, Aegon's succession is fairly set. He has another son, a younger son, named Maelor. He's a few years younger than Jaehaerys, being around age 3 by the time of the Blood and Cheese incident, but given that the ages of the kids have been aged down, it's unclear whether or not he would be the same age or younger or I don't know what. But seeing as Aegon has another son in the books, that succession is fairly settled. The show complicates things by making Maelor kind of a Schrodinger's cat, just like his uncle Daeron or Loras Tyrell's status recently in the main books. We don't see Maelor throughout all of Season 1, and that season presented evidence both for and against his existence. There's evidence for in the intro, as the bloodline coming from Aegon and Helaena has 3 spokes coming off of it, signaling 3 children. You can tell that this is Aegon and Helaena, as they are the only siblings in the series, at least at present, who are married. However, Maelor isn't listed in an official family tree, even when Daeron is listed. So coming into Season 2, the picture was very unclear. If Maelor did exist, Aegon at least had a concrete male heir who is his direct descendant. If Maelor doesn't exist, or if he does exist and something stabby happens to him, but who would do that to a child, another candidate must be considered. As previously mentioned, Jaehaerys has a twin sister, Jaehaera. I actually love the idea that Jaehaera could be Aegon's heir. This entire war is based upon not allowing a woman to inherit the throne, and immediately after its outbreak, the male claimant has a female heir, potentially. With that said, I could see Jaehaera not being named as Aegon's heir because of that discrepancy, though Aegon's love for his daughter may overcome settled succession, as happened to his father before him. I always love me some irony, and given that the characters in Ice and Fire are already mostly hypocrites, Aegon naming a female heir could fit into that pattern quite snugly. I'd be quite a fan of it. Both Maelor and Jaehaera have a problem in common: their age. Tommen and Joffrey were young when they came to power, but these two are young. It doesn't seem like it'd be in anyone's best interest for toddlers and babies to rule the realm. Just ask House Tyrell, for example. If named as official heirs, they would require long regencies in the midst of war, ushering in a dangerous interregnum that the Greens cannot afford at this moment. Despite the fact that Rhaenyra does break typical Westerosi succession norms, she at least has an of-age heir. Sure, that heir is a bastard, but infancy is a much larger hurdle to ruling. So it might be worth discussing a different candidate who could succeed King Aegon II. Prince Aemond already expressed a strong desire for the crown. In episode 9, he expressed this feeling to Sir Criston Cole while the pair were hunting for his brother. Once they found Aegon, Aemond seemed quite intrigued by his brother's offer to run away and never be seen again and not be crowned as king. Unfortunately for our cyclopic colleague, Aegon not only wears the crown but seems to quite enjoy it now. However, discounting Aegon's children on account of their infancy, Aemond becomes the clear next candidate for the throne. Helaena is older than Aemond, but the Greens would in all likelihood pass over her. They already rest on the traditional ideals of succession, and additionally, based on her reaction to Blood and Cheese, she might not be the most stable in the immediate future, especially given her dragon dreams. Aemond wants the crown and is next in line after Aegon's children, but there might still be a problem. Aemond might want the crown a little too much. Exactly one season ago, this episode, a guy you might have heard of named Otto Hightower got very, very concerned and had no ulterior motive about the issue of Viserys' heir, Daemon. A similar situation to Viserys having Daemon as an heir would occur with this situation in the present. The king is now Otto's grandson, and someone who is very clearly trying to be Daemon is effectively his heir. We saw Otto raise an eyebrow at even Aemon's presence in the council chamber, and I can only imagine his potential reaction to One Eye being named as heir. Otto has pretty good reason to mistrust Aemon in power, as his having power over Vhagar hasn't gone the best for the Greens thus far, and kind of starting the war and everything. We know that killing his nephew is only a few steps away from outright fratricide, so that is quite a cause for concern for Otto. I wouldn't be surprised to see conflict between the king, the hand, and the prince in the near future regarding the line of succession. This is all also discounting the possibility that Helaena is pulling a fast one and somehow pointed out the wrong kid. In the book, she's forced to choose between Jaehaerys and killing Maelor. She chooses Maelor, seeing as he's younger. Cheese then remarks to Maelor that his mom wants him dead and proceeds to kill Jaehaerys anyway. Fun for the whole family. I'd like to raise a glass to this very strong start of Season 2. I think that this was a fantastic beginning, and I am very excited to see where the rest of the season goes. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I talk a lot about House of the Dragon and A Song of Ice and Fire, and there will be more videos in the very near future. My schedule for House of the Dragon is going to be uploading a video right after each episode, and another kind of more laid-back analytical video, either on the episode or on something from the books, during the week. It's going to be a fun time, a lot of content coming out. I highly recommend you subscribe so you don't miss a single bit of it. I'll also probably be streaming in the near future, so look out for that. Goodbye, everyone, and thank you for watching.